Hello, welcome to Healing Sessions with Maxie Njuguna. In this podcast, we have an opportunity to connect with you through candid conversations. We are going to have experts coming through to speak to us in matters of healing, matters of trauma, every aspect that we may be going through, and those deep places where we have been wounded, but taking the journey of healing together. Join us in every episode, and please also go ahead and subscribe, like, share, and distribute this content to someone who needs it as we walk through this journey of healing together. Healing Sessions with Maxie Njuguna. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Healing Sessions with Maxie Njuguna. Wow, what a journey and what a joy that we could always gather to have a quick conversation together. And on this part 2 series, we are really considering some quick reflections at a national level that can push us closer to the place of healing. And I want to appreciate everyone who has been subscribing, everyone who watches this content, everyone part of this community. Continue to do so. Share out this content, and let us keep this conversation going in every way possible. I want us to have a conversation today again on this healing the nation perspectives, and I want us now to draw in to some of the events that have been happening in our nation. Much of it, we've seen a lot of tragic events, the different fires that have come up in different schools, and also the departed tragic events of our loved ones, and us using this opportunity to bring comfort and solace to every person who has been affected, and sharing our heartfelt condolences with every one of them. And together, I believe we can be able to forge a way forward in terms of how we strengthen ourselves in moments like this, which are very difficult even to handle. I actually received a question from one of our friends, and that question triggers our conversation today. And he says, um, God was sitting on his throne watching little children burn in intense fire. He makes it so hard to believe that he has good plans for us. He makes it very hard to believe he knows what he was doing. And this is a parent who says, I am so broken as a parent. So the person is asking, what can I say to this person who has this question? Um, we must first of all acknowledge that there are some questions that are not easy to get direct or quick answers. And I think the best posture that we need to take in a tragic opportunity is not to rush in with already set responses, and not to turn ourselves to be heroes of the moment so that we can bring perspective to those people who are hurting. I think the first posture is to care. I think the first posture is to listen. And thirdly, to ask heartfelt questions that can help the person to process their pain. Not to seek for what to say first. It is to care, to listen, and to ask heartfelt questions that can push the person forward in terms of helping them process their pain. Because we must process the pain before we seek for the answers. Otherwise, the answers we're seeking for is just a band-aid that we just want to offer people and move on quickly. And those of us who are in those positions where we have a chance to respond, let's start off with a caring heart. And sometimes we just need to listen in and to offer a safe embrace for the person to process how they're feeling. I was thinking of a couple of questions that can help trigger a moment to help a loved one or a friend who is in pain, to come alongside them and to facilitate and offer a hand that can help them begin to process, especially these deep things that cannot be answered directly in difficult times like this. The first question that I feel is good for a conversation is to ask them, How how did that make you feel? How did that make you feel? That question is an appreciation of their feelings, because the feeling component cannot be disregarded. When that event happened, how did that event make you feel? Question number 2: what answers are you seeking for? What answers are you seeking for? Not so that you can answer them, but so that you can be able to be in touch with what they care most, especially at that point. What answers are you really seeking for? The last question that I also feel is adequate, and for me, this is one of the most critical questions you can ask someone who is in a difficult moment, is how can I serve you? It is a heartfelt question that brings value and dignity and support to the person who is before you. As you're going through this pain, I may not understand how you feel. I know you still have unanswered questions in your heart. I know you're still trying and struggling to understand the place of God in all this. But in all these moments and in the time that we have together, how can I serve you? These are powerful questions. These are heartfelt questions that give you an opportunity to care, to listen, and to ask in a heartfelt way. How did that make you feel? What answers are you seeking for? What matters to you during this time? And number 3, how can I serve you? When we come in with such a posture, we are able to offer the right solace and comfort for the person that we are interacting with. And perhaps this is a quick template for someone who knows someone who needs to interact with them in this way. There are those that we have lost along the way for sure. And there are those who have departed in ways that we could not explain. Whether they departed 1 year ago, 2 years ago, some even before we could have a full view of who they are. But what are the perspectives that can help us and strengthen us daily? These are some of the things that I'm trying my best to operate in my life, in the many events and series where I have lost loved ones. In the first episode, we shared about the loss of our father and how we are navigating that loss over the years. I have lost loved ones in the mission field, people that set out to go and serve God, but they never came back. I have lost people who I couldn't even pinpoint to see them go that soon. And some of them are my close friends, some of them are part of my community, and some of them are even my relatives. So close, even to my dad who passed on. All these are realities of life and the pain thereof. And I was thinking about how we can carry the perspectives in our hearts that help us heal over time. These are things that I'm doing my best to implement and function within. And I also want to welcome anyone who is in a season of mourning, in a season of a tragic experience, that you would consider some of these thoughts and that you will join me as we try to navigate these seasons together. The first thing that I have seen work is to carry this heart and this reality. Number 1, that I have now become the extension of their legacy. I have become the extension of their legacy. Anyone who passed on connected to me, I carry that hope that the things that they were not able to do, the things that they were planning to do, I become an extension of that legacy. And therefore, we did not lose, because I now have an opportunity to still achieve those things, because they were still part of me. We didn't lose. If a family member passes on, that mantle never leaves your family. It is still going to locate one of you who is going to position themselves fully to be a continuation of that legacy. And that is what happens, for instance, for those of us who have lost our parents. You realize that There is a special grace that came upon you when that event happened, and you realize it's like you've received another dose of strength. You realize that there is also the kind of opportunities that are coming your way, the kind of connections and networks that are coming your way. It's like they have been heightened and increased. It's because the Lord knows that there is still some work that needed to be achieved by the one who has departed. And guess what? You're the one who is carrying that mandate. And therefore, you have even more fortitude to go forward. It's like your joy doesn't sunken anymore because you have become an extension of their legacy. When I look back at the people who have passed away, they have departed, I will always seek and see how can I be an extension of their legacy. The values that they stood for, I collect them and I harness my life to walk in pattern with those values so that their legacy continues to live on. It is one of the ways that helps us to heal and to know that we are still in touch with the things that mattered most. The memories of what they do still stay with us, even though they are not with us physically. Number two, I will use my pain to heal others. I will use my pain. Every time you share your pain, by sharing your story and your experiences, and you open your wounds for others to receive, it becomes a medicine, an opportunity for others to see themselves in your story, and they have an opportunity to go forward. Some of us shy away from sharing our deep, dark places. But today I want to encourage you to open your life and your heart so that other people can feed from your pain. I never knew that pain can be a feeding place for others. I always thought that we only minister from the mountaintops of life, from the hula baloo that looks great. But when we open ourselves to the realities of pain and we ask others to join us to see what we have been able to go through, we are able to invite them. One, to give them the assurance that they too can make it, and also to show them the possibility of moving forward. Let us use our pain as an environment that can heal others. Number three, I will find a community that can bear my pain. I will find a community that can bear my pain. Isolation is dangerous when you are in traumatic experiences. And the temptation is to be alone. But then you should be tempted even more to seek for people who can give you solace in times of trouble. One of the ways by which we bear the realities of pain is by deflating it upon the people who have become part of us. Communities are powerful. They give us an extension. Weight is distributed in community. Weight is distributed in community. Weight is distributed in community. You don't have to carry that weight all by yourself. And the more it is deflated and distributed, you realize the burden now that I have, I can be able to bear it. Because there are people who can speak to my life and hold my hand and help me to go forward. And then the fourth one and the last one is that I will give time some time. There are things that I will not be able to understand now, but I will give time some time. When we give time some time, time unfolds and some desires that we have begin to crystallize within our hearts and we begin to find perspective. Maybe after 2, 3 years, 5 years, you now look back and you have even a better perspective, a more healthier perspective of that situation. Let us give time some time and let us allow people to also mourn through time. Some things cannot be rushed. Pain cannot be rushed. We must give time some time so that we can be able to process it over time. And sometimes when you feel weak and lonely and hard, you can be able to use the gift of time to push yourself to a place where time can speak back to you and give you an opportunity to connect with deeper perspectives that you will not have experienced. So, May we see those who have departed as extensions of our legacy. May we use the pain within us as an opportunity to heal others. Let us find a community that can bear our pain, and let us be willing to give time, some time. Together with the three questions that I shared with us that can help you connect with someone who is in pain. And for those who have lost people along the way, using these four perspectives, I see them working in my life. I'm trying my best to live through them. And I also want to welcome you as well to do so. And together, I believe that we will carry such a healthy perspective, and that when it is time to cry and to mourn, as Jesus did at the tomb of Lazarus, that we will also find the strength to rise up again and to see that resurrection is still available even at the place of death. This is how we heal, and this is how we grow. May we go forward in the strength of this reality. And if you know someone who needs to be encouraged, please share this episode with them. Share, like, subscribe if you can, and let's continue to build this community day by day. So thank you for joining us. I will see you in the next episode. God bless.